as the reader, when I read The Glass Menagerie, I really enjoyed it, but it seemed odd to me that the author wrote it as a play instead of a book, because there are really only 4 characters that have speaking parts. The glass unicorn impressed me because it was metaphoric to Laura, because Laura was handicapped, therefore she was different, just like the unicorn had a horn which made it different than the normal horses. But in the end, Jim gets Laura to realize that even though she is different than the normal kind of person, she still is beautiful. And the same thing started happens with the unicorn, because even though the unicorn was different, Jim ends up breaking the unicorn accidentally, so the unicorn ends up becoming more like the regular horses too. And I think that Laura is very shy because of her handicap. And I also think that the music was very important to the story, the music used, because there was so much of the music. And earlier in the story, Tom explains that the music is part of his memory. It didn't necessarily happen the way that he remembers it, but he does remember it this way. And I think the reason that he does remember it this way is because the music triggers parts of the memories that he has. I think another very important thing to look at in this story is that the men, they can either do the right thing or they can be happy. For an example, Jim, he kisses Laura, and because of that, he ends up cheating on his fiance. But he's happy about it because he's glad that he got to kiss Laura because he thinks that she's really pretty, but that was not the right thing to do. And the same thing goes with Laura and Tom's father. The dad left, and he's having a good time somewhere else, but he's not filling in his responsibility as the father. Whereas for Tom, Tom is doing the right thing by staying with his family to help provide and help do all of the things that his family needs him to do for them. But in the end, it just leads down the same path, the same circling spiral, where all he can do is, to pass his time, is go to the movies and drink, because in the end he's not happy for the decisions that he has made. This story kind of reminded me of the song Hungry Heart by Bruce Springsteen, just because of the fact that the father left, just like in the song. The boss explains how he took a wrong turn and he just kept going, he just kept driving away because he wanted to leave. And this also reminds me of that 70s show, because Hyde's father ends up leaving also, but the only difference is Hyde's father ends up coming back, as opposed to the father in the Glass Menagerie, who is just gone.